Hello, thank you for joining me. I'm Stephen Englander, and we've got tonight's edition of Between the Spreadsheets. Tonight, I'm going to mention things like franchising and meetings and all these businessy things, and I was just a bit concerned where all the banks are going. We're also going to have a little look at VAT dodging, because in his research, Graham's found someone that was doing a bit of VAT dodging. So we're going to have a look at that. But first, there's this new campaign, Think Small Businesses, where they're saying this weekend is try and shop with small businesses. It's amazing, isn't it, that everywhere, everybody's now saying, after years of putting people out of business with Tesco's and the big stores, everyone's trying to re-educate the general public to shop with small businesses. And I think it makes a lot of sense, because we're losing the high street, we're losing that personal service. I had a rare experience the other day, Graham. You know this ongoing saga that I've got no clothes.
Oh yeah.
I've not done any shopping for a while, and part of it is because I just can't stand going out shopping for stuff.
I'm the same. I don't know where anything I get comes from. I've got a new coat on today. I had no part in its purchase. I desperately needed it though.
Yeah. No, it's funny, isn't it? I do think it's a guy thing that a lot of men don't like shopping for clothes. But so it needs to be made as easy. I mean, there is a store in the city of Manchester called Slater's. And it's a men's clothes shop, and they do like suits and jackets, the type of things I wear. And I used to go in, and I used to sit down, and they used to make me a cup of coffee and measure me and tell me that I've gone fatter, and then go and find the clothes. And they just, I just used to buy black and grey because nothing else fits. But I digress, because what I was saying here is that I found a little shop locally that I didn't even know was there. I didn't have to worry about parking or paying £300 for the benefit of a parking space, and there was no hassle. I just parked my car outside, walked in, and they just did a bit of measurement, because some of the clothes that I bought need to be taken in. Very nice service, showing me what's what, gave me a discount, and I didn't even ask for anything. And the clothes were way cheaper than anything I'd buy in town, or a little bit dearer than Asda, but not much dearer. So at that personal service, it calls you in, doesn't it? As soon as you go into the big boys, it's not great. So now they're doing a campaign this weekend, and by all means, go and shop locally. Are you going to do any shopping this weekend, Graham?
No. I've been doing all my shopping online, unfortunately. But
yes, no, there's nothing wrong with shopping online.
I can't be doing with the shops. I can't. I love the fact that someone brings it.
Yeah.
But I have been making an actual effort to not use Amazon as the main. Actually, because it's so early before Christmas, I've got a little bit of time. I can wait. If something's not necessarily the next day, but don't you get me wrong. The 21st, 22nd of December, I'm going to be on Amazon, mate, freaking out.
Just I was freaking out a little bit before, and I just want to show something. I've noticed that Hayden is not sat with Graham where he normally sits. I'm just wondering if this is anything to do with it. I found it on my desk. It's anti-fleas, kills fleas, ticks and lice, and it prevents the development of flea eggs. It's mainly for cats and ferrets, but have you been using this on Graham?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought you might have done.
Because I've not been here for 2 weeks, so it's just as soon as I came in, 2 spots on the back of my neck.
Yeah. No one wants to sit next to you, Graham. Graham, what do you think of having business meetings?
Terrible, mate.
Why?
Absolutely awful.
Why is that?
Because I'd rather be out in the flowers, frolicking and dancing.
There's a... That wasn't the answer that thought I was going to get. But meetings, there's a lot of people make fun of meetings. Every time you say, "Right, we need a meeting," it's like, "Oh, for God's sake, what is it?" But I think we're losing something, because meetings aren't conducted very well, and a lot of small businesses, even a local florist or a fish and chip shop, a meeting is great if it's directed properly, because it gets everybody focused on the business. And if you focus on the business with ideas and have a topic like, right guys, we need stronger customer service. What are we going to do? And the meetings it is important that even if you've only got 2 people, have a meeting. If you've got 3 people, have a meeting. If you want to bring anybody in the cleaning lady. Sometimes you can have a meeting and bring a customer in, or and see what they think of the business and how to improve it. Don't think you're too small to have meetings. Just don't have them all the time, every day, over every little thing. What else was I going to ask you about before? Oh, I've forgotten. But what I wanted to mention was when at the moment there's a lot of problems with all sorts of things. I made a mistake a few months ago because I basically said that COVID and everything else would not lead to inflation. And I don't think it's led to the right type of inflation. I think this is all panic inflation, where there's bad management going on with delivering stuff. There's hard to get stuff from abroad. There's just problems with the infrastructure type things, and that's not a normal inflation. I'm surprised we've had this, but what it's leading to is that there's a lot of people out there that are at the same time that people can't get anything. The economy is overheating a bit because there's so many people needed for work. People can't get staff in certain areas. I mean, things like accountancy and law and that type of thing, you're not going to have a problem with. But other things you are. And what's happening is that people are beginning to open up their own businesses. And that's good for everyone. I mean, the whole world is beginning to realise that we need small businesses out there, and it's good that people do start off. But it's not that easy starting a business, and starting a business without any guidance is often a recipe for failure. And it's a shame, because you can fail in business through no fault of your own. You can work very, very hard, and just because you're not sure about something or you didn't know you needed to do that, then you can end up in a lot of trouble. So I'm thinking that maybe we can consider the idea of a franchise. Now, I'm not pro-franchise. I'm not against franchise. But one of the things that it does do is it takes people with years of experience and give people starting up a business the benefit of that experience. And franchises do tend to succeed more than just starting up a business with no experience or background. So I think then it works the other way, because we've got lots of people out there, lots of clients I've got that have got a lifetime of experience and management and skills honed expensively through mistakes, and they could convert their businesses into some form of franchise or operational license. So it's a great way for businesses to expand. So you can say, if you've got a fish and chip shop, the cost of a fish and chip shop might be £50,000 to set up. But instead of expanding through the country and having to raise £50,000 every time you set up, and then having to look for staff and everything else, you could perhaps find a franchisee that will put up the £50,000, operate under your name, and for the benefit of your advice and style and everything else. So, don't dismiss franchising as an existing business, or to buy a franchise if you're new in business. I think it's very, very good, because people do fall foul of things. Graham, I'm just going to ask you again. This electrician. That's what was it? This dodgy electrician. What was it you found?
Yeah. This is my new favourite thing. It's called the Construction Inquirer.
Yeah.
It's a website, and it's got loads of juicy stories on small businesses.
So you're spending your time now looking for juicy. You've come away from looking at scantily clad ladies.
Oh no, there's still a lot of that. There is still a lot
scantily
of that,
clad ladies, children, and dogs. Sorry. So go on. So what happened here? I know you wrote. I'm just looking for it now. Here it is. VAT dodging electrician banned for 5 years.
Yeah.
He's not allowed to form, promote, or manage a company without court permission. Owed £100,000 in unpaid VAT, and they're in Nottingham.
I tell you what, though, that was only over 3 years as well. So he's done well to clock up 100K's worth of unpaid VAT, hasn't he? He must have been going like the clappers.
I don't know, because I went and looked at this guy's accounts.
Yeah.
And what I will say is that I've seen people for many, many years, and it's a bit about what I'm saying with the franchising, that they don't look to avoid VAT. They just don't. They just don't get bookkeeping. And I've never met this guy, don't know who he is, but I've seen this situation. And I bet he's just somebody that's trying to make a living and buried his head. Because the company, and I'm not going to mention names, but the company, this guy who owns this company only has one company. Quite often people are looking to play games. They've got more than one company. When he's been banned from 5 years, what that often means is that he's been disqualified as a company director, of acting as a company director. Now, you get disqualified when so easily these days, but when the official receiver look at your accounts and can't quite piece things together or feel that you've been a little bit irresponsible, because if they were accusing him of corruption, he'd probably get a prison sentence as well. But they're saying this is careless behaviour, and so they've said, well, you can't go to prison, but we're going to strike you off, and you can't run a business now for 5 years. So it's nothing against him, he's been banned, but anyone that's been disqualified as a director. And this is probably what's gone on. The guy's probably relieved to get out of it, just because he also didn't put accounts in either. He put one set of accounts in and then nothing. So that tells me that accountants have been a bit remiss as well, because he's obviously had an accountant to put the first set in, and they've not gone to him and said, "Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing this? What do you mean you've not put your VAT returns in?" I mean, I reckon that half the builders we deal with wouldn't be putting VAT returns in if we weren't chasing them. Now, it's just because, you think you're a one-man band, you're up the ladder half the time rather than sat at your computer doing paperwork. So I think the press take these things and make it far more serious than it actually is. Does that put a new perspective on it for you, Graham?
Yes.
Would it stop you being such a bully and immediately assuming that our nation of hard-working tradespeople and business people are automatically crooks?
I'm sorry, Stephen. You've righted me.
You're not coming to our Christmas party now. No, I don't want people. No, but as it happens, we're having a Christmas party on the 16th, and we're inviting a few people. We've got food. We've got a comedian coming to tell jokes, and generally good time. So I'm not going to give a carte blanche invitation, but if you want to send me an email and tell me why you should come, by all means. Free food, free entertainment. You get to meet Graham, and hopefully he'll have his clothes on.
I haven't agreed to come to anything. What are you talking about?
Well, we're doing the show afterwards, so it's free food. You'll be here. And it's nice food. So I've done Think Where You Shop.
I'm aware of
mentioned
your attitude to organising stuff like this.
Well, I haven't done it. Obviously.
Oh, it might be nice food then.
Oh, it will be nice food. It's because it's a mixture of things. Because I like the Caribbean food that's coming. That's the buffet, but we've got different members of staff and different clients that are coming that have got special dietary. So for all those people with nut allergies, there'll be no nuts, that type of thing. Well, he's doing, yeah. So let's give him a shout out. Caribbean, what's it called? Sunrise Caribbean in Cheetah, Manchester. Food is excellent.
Oh, it's amazing.
We always enjoy it, don't we? Fantastic. Yeah. We don't even run to the toilet too soon, do we? Yeah, so I've done that one. I think I'm hoping Mikkel, the owner, is watching. Hi, Mikkel, how are you? Anyway, departments, Selfridges, they're selling up to a Thailand central group.
What on earth is a Selfridges, Stephen?
It's a place that sells fridges.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the department stores, £5 billion or dollars or something they're going for. Yeah, I don't like Selfridges. It's have you ever been in there? Oh God, I went up in town and I saw these T-shirts that were like rags, £400. I thought, who pays £400 for a T-shirt? Hi, Melanie. But moving on, and then of course TSB closing 70 branches next year, plans to. So you can say, well, where's the surprise there? Because TSB are not a great bank anyway. They mess us around like crazy, so I'm closing all our accounts anyway. And it's all going online. I mean, why do you need a physical bank presence these days, except to put right when the banks themselves have made a mess of things? Not the bank, the people that work there. So you've got to go in and explain to them, no, look. But do you ever walk into a bank?
Occasionally, very, very rarely though.
Yeah,
it's a weird one, isn't it? Where it's so convenient. I've moved to the point now where it's switched. It used to be that you didn't pay with your card because you'd lose track. Yeah. But now it's so easy to pay with your card that's when you lose track. And if you've got cash on you, I find that it limits my spending now.
Do you know, going through a client's accounts, the amount of cash being traded is dropped considerably. It's almost that, when we do get invoices paid cash, it's like, oh, because I know it's a major problem out there.
Well, I had it at the vets the other day. I tried to pay in cash.
Oh, is this? We're back to this. Is that when they prescribe this for you?
No. Right, that was a miscommunication. Okay,
I understand.
We don't.
But,
she wouldn't take cash off me. I was like,
No.
we don't have change, and I was like, well, can you not
Yeah.
just credit the account or something? I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's a weird. I don't like it though. I don't like it.
No.
It's leaving older people behind.
Banks are becoming one of those things where they become one of those automatic businesses where there's no people involved. It's just computers running banks. So I don't know where that's going to go, but as long as we can get the service we need and we're all making more money, and what difference whether we have to go to a branch or it's on the phone or the internet.
Well, at that point, the government might as well just take it over, and then you'll find that what you're allowed to buy will be restricted by your doctor. You might go and see your doctor, and your doctor say, right, no meat, and then suddenly Tesco's won't sell you meat anymore.
I think that's a really good idea.
You think
No, I'm quite happy with Big Brother, and I'm quite happy being told what to do. I actually think that HMRC bring out some great business procedures, and if you follow what they say, you'll probably do better than if you don't. And I think that's an excellent idea, but they won't do it. There'll be too many people like you screaming, "Oh, I can't have red meat because at least we'd live longer and healthier." Anyway, do you know Leicester City? Not the football team.
terrible place, Stephen. Why? What about it?
No. It's just everything that's going on with small businesses struggling and shops closing down, and we're relying more and more on online trade, and people are not going shopping as much, physical shopping, but they've just spent almost £10 million in buying the city's Haymarket Centre. It's like an old-fashioned 1960s shopping precinct, and you think, why? Mind you, they might make it more sort of community-based stuff and lots of nice cafes and boutique clothes shops and things, but yeah, no, I don't think so either. It just things that the money could be better spent, like stronger internet, stronger deliveries, easier deliveries, more training, maybe getting trains back onto delivering things. I don't know. I just think that maybe the money could be spent better. But then again, who am I?
Stephen, we've got a question from Happy Dog. He's
Okay.
wondering if Big Brother has stopped you buying razors.
I know. I was going to have a shave this morning, and I thought, oh. When it gets cold and you wake up in the morning and things ache, and you think,
I like having a layer. I like having that layer around me. And
yeah. No, I've a couple of people said you can't go and do your show looking like that. But I'm just.
There's only so much a shape can take.
Yeah,
That's not nice.
let's be honest.
Do you know there was a woman? Just to change the subject, there's a woman that sued her mother's doctor for allowing her to be born, and she's actually won millions of dollars out of it. She's actually an English woman, but living in the States, and she actually sued her mother's doctor. She's got spina bifida and doesn't think she should have been born, and her mother's and she sued successfully. I mean, how mad is that?
But that's the doctor doing their job.
Making sure she's alive, and I just you wonder, are things being reported as they are, or is it just a good story? But then again, I've repeated it because I thought it was quite a good story.
Stephen, we've had a question from Costa.
Okay.
Says, good evening, hope you're well.
Thank you.
Which bank would you recommend for free business banking?
They're all shit. But out of all the shit, we've been banking with Barclays for 30 odd years, and even though you have ups and downs, I think Barclays have been quite a decent bank. Free banking is just sort of like they use that to pull you in. So some banks do offer free banking for you to switch. I mean, when we were with not TS, I think it was TSB, or we were with one of them, and they were saying they don't want any more. They're shutting the banks basically, and go and find another account. So TSB were offering £1,500 to move to them. So I thought, oh, we've got two accounts. So I moved to them, and they've never paid us out. And they're such a crummy bank, even though there's no charges on them. I'm closing all down. HSBC gave us free banking as well at one point, but I just think Barclays are about the best for banking. Sometimes you've got to pay for things, don't you? Just it's not always about what's free. It's about what's best value for money. So you know, it's like you know, if I didn't pay Graham, would I get a better job done? Would it make any difference?
Oh, it would.
Know. It would, yeah. We used to do it for free before I offered to pay you. Those were the days. No. So anyway, the answer is you just. I would not worry about whether it's free banking. I'd go with someone like Barclays, although someone like yourself could go to what's it called? What's the Queen's Bank called?
Most will offer 12 months free to start.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Is it a startup?
bank charges,
They're not that dear. It's about £10 a month anyway, depending on your turnover.
if you can't afford the bank charges, your business might not really have
Yeah, I think the question is really what's a decent bank.
Yeah.
I'd go with Barclays.
not something
Yeah, I don't get paid for by Barclays, and you know, just
Happy Dog's back in the comments.
yeah. Go on. What's he insulting me
he
with
says
now?
you look like the milk tray man with
Oh.
some other stuff as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, let's focus on the milk tray man.
I haven't got the energy for that, but I do like milk trays, so you know.
Yeah, he mentioned that as well. That was the other part.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. Omicron. Do you know? Do you ever read Private Eye? No. Great journalism, Private Eye. Really well written. I don't understand it all the time because I'm not that political, but they were mentioning about how well some of the private hospital groups have done over COVID. And I don't like to mention COVID because a lot of people have died, a lot of people's lives seriously affected. I've lost people, and I don't want to make light of it. All I'm saying is that in Private Eye, I was reading that a lot of these private hospitals have earned absolute hundreds of millions of pounds thanks to COVID in grants and other things, and they're still getting some of the grants. And then you've got some of these politicians and highbrow consultants and scientists that advise on COVID all over the place. And I'm just wondering if Omicron is another way of just making sure those final few invoices are settled. No, but there's another thing as well that as Hayden was advising me about, because anything conspiratorial, I go to Hayden, and we were saying, like, if all the sort of dangerous COVID variants are named after Greek alphabets, Omicron is number 15. So have we had 15 of these sort of significant ones? I can't think of 15, but maybe we have. However, what I think is the real conspiracy is that we're due to an invasion from another planet, because we've got the Omicron from, where are they from? Omicron Persei I8.
Close enough, yeah.
Yeah, was that it? So I think that Omicron is less to do with COVID and more to do with an alien race coming to invade us. I think they are. I think they are. But and now they've mentioned them by name, because in Futurama, the cartoon series, those monsters were from Omicron 8.
You may smile.
I'm not smiling.
A
Never
lot of
smile.
people are saying that this increase in UFO activity,
Yeah.
and governments saying we are unidentified craft, not aliens.
Yeah.
They're getting us ready.
Well, my attitude to aliens, and it's just another market to sell to. More people to pass your goods on to.
When they're melting us with their death rays.
I'll be in the Illuminati. I think I'm ready for the Illuminati. No, if they want death rays, maybe we could sell them better ones. You could. What is it? Some of the main makes. What are the main brands of weaponry? Of death rays. Do you know anyway? So we just have to have Adidas death rays.
There you go.
Bought from whoever's taken over candles. But whenever you meet new people, what do you want? No, because then you don't get any business from them. You're going somewhere else then. Yeah. You think, but you get a lot of ideas though. I mean, do you ever get ideas, business ideas? Because if you get a business idea, you should write it down. And then when you've written it down, consider what you're going to do next. And that's where sometimes a meeting comes in to have a chat about the next one. Now, we had a good meeting before planning the advertising campaign for Accounts Direct over the next 6 months, didn't we?
Yeah.
So we've got all these adverts. How's your film coming?
It's doing really well.
I enjoyed it.
2,000 views so far. I'm
Wow.
really positive.
But it does look good. I like Hayden's films. So we've covered Omicron, haven't we? Covered the Tesla,
Yes.
yes. The German gigafactory,
Yes.
they can't build it.
They can.
Well, the lizard problem.
Well, what's happened is the EU have said we want to give you some money for it, and Tesla have said we don't want your money, thank you very much, because
Right.
we don't want to be bound by your rules.
But it's the lizards, because
Is
they're
it?
going to displace lizards.
Ask German lizards, it's fine.
Are they okay?
Yeah.
Is that the Anunnaki? Is that part of the invasion?
Yeah,
The
that'll
lizard
be-
people.
Starting small.
But, you know, Tesla, it's interesting. Tesla's got a problem with the lizard. When I read it, I was thinking, is it a problem with the lizard people, or is it just some...
But that isn't the EU. Have tried to get them to take money from them.
Yeah.
And Tesla have flatly refused, because they will not be burdened with the red tape that comes with it.
Really?
They said we don't need it. The EU's
Okay.
got over $1 billion in.
And they don't
Tesla
need
said,
it.
We don't need your money.
I'll do whatever you want me to do.
The EU will give you nothing. You're English.
Disney appoint first female chair. Why do we care?
Oh, I put that in.
Yeah, no. I wouldn't put it in.
Just because Disney are so terrible at the moment. I finally worked out why.
Why?
They went and put a woman in charge, didn't they? Eh? She's been on the board for 14 years.
Right.
What's the
I think
problem?
Disney's Marvel are very good. What's wrong with putting a woman in charge? I find women quite, you know, I think that women are so much better at running things than men. Men are good at going out and getting the business. If this electrician guy that got done for £100,000 and all this type of business, if he'd have had a woman managing behind him, this would never have happened. Is that racist? Sexist?
It's not racist.
No, sorry, I meant sexist.
I don't know that it's really sexist to say that there are different. I mean,
Different
I think
skills.
It's based on very little hard data.
I would always recommend that. I mean, we've had guys in here with terrible at paperwork, and we've said, look, I'm going to speak to your wife, and they've said, oh yeah, and when she's agreed, the businesses have done better. That's all I can say.
Did you know Marshall Amplifiers,
I
one of the
don't.
largest British manufacturer,
Yeah.
iconic, for his hand-wired amplifiers, he would only hire women to do the job.
Right.
Do you know why? In
Little
his
hands.
experience of 60, 70 years,
Go on.
Jim Marshall, they didn't mess around as much.
Yeah.
They concentrated and they did a far higher quality of work.
Hmm.
Now, in the more manual labour, the men.
Yeah.
putting vinyl
No,
on.
I think men are great at going out and bringing the business in. They're good at hunting. They're good at doing the job. But the admin and even a little bit of sales, not always as good as women are. I think the problem is a lot of men, when they've got wives, daughters, mums, you know, they don't often want them involved in the business because they get it there. Because I do. You know, my manager does a terrific job. I know she does. She's amazing at all the admin, and you know, she knows things I don't know. But you know, I don't half get aggravation when something's wrong, and it's like, well, it's not my fault. I don't know. Speak to, you know, whatever. But she's really good at it, so I can't really call her for anything. Can we make fun of Graham in any other way? What else have you given me to talk about? TS, yeah, we've done that. Graham, have you ever heard of Salesforce?
Never heard of it, mate. What is it?
Salesforce is a CRM system, client relationship management system, that helps you manage your client base and beyond. I just thought I'd mention it because so many people just do not manage things. So many people have got their business in their database, there are opportunities in the database, but they don't manage it. They don't even keep a database. How many of you guys have got a list and details of all your customers and clients?
I will say
So-
I have got it logged in on my phone, and it's
Yeah.
it is exceptionally handy. Not just for getting people's contact details, but like a little sort of history of where we're up to with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice, especially.
It's a
when
good
used properly.
package. The problem with a lot of software though is not, it's like accounts. It's not that you don't know that you need it. It's not that you can't get hold of it. It's just that you've still got to manage it. And even now, after running Salesforce for nearly 10 years, I'm still learning how to program things, and I'm finally at the stage where I'm saying I'm going to get a Salesforce developer to work with me and do things, because I'm not as au fait with it as I thought I was. But it's got so many advantages, and I think that's it with bookkeeping as well. There's so many good bookkeeping programs out there, but you've still got to use them. And we have fully qualified bookkeepers in here that don't always. There's always new things on the software, so if they sometimes have to constantly be studying, then what the average people out there who just want to enter a few invoices and make sure everything's done well. So again, back to the electrician in Nottingham. If he'd have had a proper software and someone making sure it was running properly, he'd probably still be in business now and earning probably more money than he's. I bet he's lost money on this business. Anyway, there are a few more things to talk about, but I'm tired now, and I'm sure you're sick of listening to me ramble on. So, Hayden, do you have anything more to say?
No.
Graham, we don't care if you do. Thank you for joining me, and we'll see you next week.
Oh, no.
Oh.
No.
What?
I'm going to say good night, everyone. I don't
Yes.
give a shit about your disrespect tonight. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Hayden, cut that off quickly.